Go to
All right, let's fire away. Let's fire away here. Um, Welcome to another edition of the Other League Pod. This is episode 12. We've been doing this. I'd like to welcome back Andres Plantation. Andy,
let's go,
how you
baby.
feeling after surviving and getting into the semis this weekend?
Feel great. Took a few years off my life this weekend, as it
I
does for
hear that.
everybody. But happy to advance and tough matchup with Arby's now this week. His team
Yeah,
is real nice. I'm a little scared, but it's gonna be a good one. I'm curious to hear your breakdown of our matchup and what your
I'm
pick 'em
looking.
is.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that Rick and I's our predictions or projections were not good last week. We had the Bandits and Rick. Oh, the all right. Let's.
Definitely had some bulletin board material presentation. Wow.
Where is he?
Hey, 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 hey.
What's up, Barbies? What are you cooking up over there, babe?
What are you doing in your kitchen?
Hot little roast beef?
Can you
Hey,
hear? There you go. Your audio is terrible, but your acting's great.
kitchen.
We saw that, considering the apron and chef hat you're wearing right now. Oh man, good. You know
What
these guys
what are you
really bring
firing
their.
up, Barbies?
Hey, what's going on, boys?
Oh, there he is. There he is. What are you firing up in there?
Oh, dude, I'm excited about my matchup with Rick. Preparing up a nice shit sandwich for him. What do you think of that? Fuck you, Rick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was that. I mean, that was a long time coming, considering how many taunts he threw out. I mean, it would have been enjoyable. I mean, just as good to have Andy here, but it would have been really nice to see you guys match up against each other this week. He was already eating Arby sandwiches last week, and fortunately, he came up short. So, oh,
I
that's
was all
great.
ready for him, but again, he shits the bed. He might take that as a compliment, but jeez, that guy ruining weeks of prep for me.
Yeah, I don't. His mind wasn't in it. His mind was definitely looking past this week to a potential Arby's matchup. But yeah, that's tough. That's a tough look. He's off the show now because he lost. That sucks. No, I'm just
Rick
kidding. But
definitely Rick definitely had the worst weekend of anybody. He lost in all three of his playoffs.
yeah, it's a tough weekend. I didn't even text him after we matched up in Lube in the Lehigh League, and I beat him by 2 points. I that you can't even text the guy after that. It just feels like you're rubbing it in.
Arby's, what were you having your guys do on the bye week last week? Did you have some
We were resting.
camaraderie or
Not
some nice?
Yeah, we were just resting, man. Yeah, just watching the games. It was a good matchup between you and Bandits. Yeah, you're a strong team, man. You're a savvy team. As
yeah,
I was
already.
saying, no, no.
I had some bulletin board material. Your brother called me the Kool-Aid man.
Ooh,
Had that up on my whiteboard all week. And you know what? It was the guys who you least expect that really came through for me. So
truly was.
Listen,
really
this
rallied
this
behind.
time of the year, if I know anything about fantasy playoffs, you can't just ride with your guys. You gotta find some niches. And your Noah Brown pickup, I told my brother right away. That was a good pickup. That was a good play. I mean, you made a couple nice savvy plays, Dre. You
I
got
was
there
reading I was reading the like the last 3 weeks, the top QBs are I think one was Purdy, two
Mhm.
was like Flacco, three was Baker Mayfield. Like just there are four ridiculous guys that you would not expect there. It's just how it goes. It's
but
wild.
that's it, man. You can't just like draft a team. You got to just be constantly managing. It's the way it goes.
Also, I'll throw in. I mean, whatever. You're gonna both probably agree on this. You also just got to hit and get a little bit lucky sometimes with some of those
For
like
sure.
fill in guys for when you had, and Andy had a ridiculous week of questionable guys and guys that were just not even sure up until like Sunday at 11:30 if they were playing. It was ridiculous, dude. Because I mean, I have Tyreek too in that league, and it sucked. It's he's gonna not play, but there's that potential that he will, and like then you got to pivot. It sucks. It sucks.
Yeah,
So exciting. So many injuries this time of year. It's
Yeah,
crazy. It was crazy last week.
not your team. We'll get to that in a few minutes here, but looking at your guys matchup ahead of this, I'm just like, damn, you have no cues on your team really, RVs, which is pretty impressive. I mean, it could happen still, but yeah, it's nice to see your full lineup out there with like really no question marks that guys are going to play. That sucks, but from Andy's perspective,
Oh, I got a
um,
couple. I got a couple. I mean, no, everyone's
yeah,
got some issues. I got some issues.
yeah, we'll get to it. We'll get to them, but
My menu
I,
isn't set.
I don't think anyone's is
No.
really set in the out of the two matchups here for the semis. It's crazy, man. As I said before, like that, the top six teams that got into the playoffs were all the top six teams I think in the league all year round. So like it didn't surprise me to see Tiburon kind of get the upset there, if you want to call it, on Rick. I think he has a good team, and it's funny that the Anthony's and Tiburon, I should say, are going to play each other for the third time this year. That's unusual too. Um,
Crazy.
yeah, I mean, it's going to be hard to pick Anth, I guess. I mean, can you beat a team three times in a season? Just doesn't happen. That I don't know. That's a crazy situation to have on their hands.
It's
And then
crazy
we
that
got
they have two quarterbacks playing against each other too in a huge marquee game.
yeah. I
Like
mean,
these I feel like these two teams are San Fran and Baltimore right now. I
pretty
feel like
much.
it's
I mean,
two powerhouse teams. I
yeah.
feel
I
like they're
mean,
both pretty healthy.
let's share the screen. Let's briefly go
Yeah, do
through
what you
last week
do.
for
Thanks for having us on, man. Hey, Mario, you take them. I'm good.
Well, I appreciate you jumping on RVs. I had to get you on, especially lead up to the semis, and
Busy night. Busy night over here.
it's awesome to have Andy here too, because I mean it's always great having manager on the pod here. So all right, well
Yeah, I
let's break
really
it
thought I was
down.
playing shit.
So did I. I think everything. I mean that was kind of the vote. I mean we'll break it down. I mean Arby's clearly wasn't resting. His team put up the most points even though they weren't playing. 134. It's pretty crazy. All right, let's go into Chip Blizzard and Tiburon. I mean we got Andy here, so we'll save his matchup and excitement for the next one. Pretty much swapped the projections. I mean, I don't take much from it, but that's pretty interesting that it was projected 117, 110, and basically reversed to for Tiburon's favor. Really, I mean, the only thing that I mean, looking down the line, I mean, Bijan Robinson, I'll just start on Ryan's side. Like, what the hell was that? I mean, unbelievable what they're doing in Atlanta to this poor guy.
I
Andy?
that it makes no sense to me. I don't understand it. I
I
just
mean,
I have nothing to say. It doesn't seem like the coach or the GM or the owner cares. Like they seem to have some plan. I don't know what it is, but like I think
um,
didn't Arthur Smith come out today and say like we're like I'll die before like I figure this out. I'm like it's not that hard. Just play play like the top five draft picks that you made the
that
last few
that guy, yeah, that guy's just weird. I don't, I think in general, like when I hear some of his interviews, I'm like, this guy's just odd guy, especially when he had that mustache. God, man, might still have it back. I
Well,
don't know.
he's who's he the son of? He's the son of some crazy
Oh,
He's from the Smith family.
yeah, but they got some I can't I'll have to pull it up, but
you're right though. He
here, I'll
is
look it
his
up.
his dad's like a big. There's a big company that he's tied to. You're right, Ben. I can't remember what it was though. But any case, I mean, not what you want to see when you're already. I mean, Let's start Thursday night for Arby's, or sorry,
Yeah,
for Ryan's team.
his dad, the owner of FedEx. He was
FedEx.
gifting
There you
his
go.
team classic, silver spoon, doesn't know what he's doing, thinks he can just outsmart everyone. You draft the best running back, don't give him the ball. It's just a terrible, terrible mindset to coach a team. Give Bijan Robinson. I don't understand, dude. It's
They're
these guys out to prove something that he's trying to prove he's not just giving this team or what I don't know. He's trying to outthink himself. It's
I know what you're
terrible.
saying. I mean, to the point that like the talent level outside of Bijan, they have like three first round draft picks that are all like awesome. I mean, Drake London's great, I think.
Yeah, they're
Kyle
good. Like Drake
Kyle
London is
Pitts,
a wide
like,
receiver one. He would go off. Like if he was on Houston with Stroud, like instead of Nico Collins or something, he'd be like
did you see
insane.
that catch he had a couple weeks ago? And he just like, dude, it was insane. Like it looked like it was gonna get picked off, and he just came zooming in and just jumped up and snatched it like right in front of the CB. It was insane. Like double two guys. Like it was nuts. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
But they,
outside the
they can still
quarterback,
win their division, right?
yeah, I think they're still in the hunt. I mean,
I bet you they're gonna win this division, and like
nah,
it's just gonna be so
Tampa,
annoying to everyone.
Tampa Bay, Tampa Bay is gonna win it, I think. But yeah, I mean, they're still in the hunt. You're
See,
definitely right. Yeah, pull that up. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're at least a game or two back at Tampa now because they
they're
lost in
one
Tampa
game
once.
back right now,
Oh, okay.
and
I said one or
I
two.
don't know all the tiebreakers, but like with 3 games back, this son of a bitch, they're gonna win this division with him being as stubborn. He's gonna be the coach there next year.
Yeah,
To Snyder's disapproval.
Arthur Blank, the owner, though, did come out and say like it wasn't really that suring about Arthur Smith. He just said like, hey, we'll wait to the end of the season. We're not going to make any in-season changes or anything like that, or just like extending him past the season essentially. So we'll see. I mean, but that's as your top pick and a guy that probably should certainly be at least like a value of a second round or first round pick just based off his talent level. That sucks to see from from Ryan's perspective. Obviously, he gets the win, so it's kind of hindsight, but he started off with Zamir
Yeah,
White,
he
which was a
survived
ridiculous
that. I
play.
mean, that's Tiburon's. Yeah, I mean, if you win despite that, that's nice.
Yeah, I mean, I like to highlight just this guy. I mean, David Njoku, what a joke. I mean, the guy has 27.
Joke. Ooh.
I mean, the last 2 weeks, just a ridiculous stat line. I mean, 27 and 26. I mean, we commented on the Mark Andrews injury for Ryan, and then like I guess he went three tight end draft, which was interesting. But it's coming to pay off for the guy. I mean, David Njoku slots him in the last couple of weeks, and outside of that 3-point game, which was kind of a weird one. I mean, he's been double digits like from week 7, pretty much on. I mean, like it's a Joe Flacco to your point, Andy, being a highest point total. He's finding Njoku, man. He's chucking it to him. 14 targets, 10 catches.
I
That's
haven't
a nice.
watched any of their games because they're so shitty. But like, is he actually good or like what's going on with him? I don't even know.
Neither do I. I don't really watch. It was Cleveland, Chicago this weekend, so I certainly wasn't tuned into that one. But I don't know. I mean, realistically, I mean, besides Cooper, what other talent level do they have on their offense? I mean,
Yeah.
I
Speaking
don't
of
know.
shitty, Rick Clark's alma mater there, Mr. Blue Hen,
Browns.
Delaware, Joe Flacco making a
Oh, the
resurgence.
Flacco reference. Yeah.
Unbelievable, man.
He's been pretty solid for. I mean, hey, talk about a team that might make the playoffs. Browns might make the playoffs without Deshaun Watson and what's his name? Hell, the guy
Chubb,
that got hurt.
Chubby?
Yeah, Nick Chubb. Yeah, there you go. Jesus, I'm drawing
Yeah.
a blank. But
How
incredible. I
long can
mean,
he keep it up?
yeah, we'll see. I mean, really nothing else to comment besides like I think him. Zamir White was a flyer that he hits on 17. Crazy play. We'll talk
I'll
about that.
just yeah.
God,
We've talked about Pittman before too, but I just it blows my mind how he's just been so consistent with Gardner Minshew. Like and
that's
watching like I've
awesome.
watched some Colts games just to like see how Jonathan Taylor's doing and like their offense is not good. Like I don't understand how he ends up with just putting up good numbers every single week. It really doesn't make sense to me, but he's
He's
doing it.
Dude,
Like,
it's their coach. He's the real deal, man. And then that's really hurting the Eagles too that we lost him.
yeah, we need him.
definitely. I thought that guy was a
He's
nerd,
super
but he's
good.
pretty
They're
good.
they're so
Yeah.
good. And Minshew's not terrible. He's a
No,
gunslinger, and I'm surprised by them, but they're still he's just putting up offensive numbers.
I could see
Yeah.
Minshew being a
But,
starting
like no one
quarterback
else is.
next
I
season.
mean, Josh Downs had like a stretch where he was doing pretty good, but like Pittman's the only one catching balls. Like there's no one else there doing anything.
Yeah.
No,
It's crazy.
they don't
It's
even have
crazy.
Jonathan Taylor. It's
Can't
crazy
stop
what they're
it.
doing. It's really crazy what they're doing. I mean, I can't believe they won that game last week too. It's impressive.
Pretty sure they're in the playoff hunt as well. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting the AFC what comes down to, at least in terms of the actual playoffs. But yeah, I mean, and then St. Brown does this thing. I mean, there's really not much to talk about from Ryan's side outside I think that Zamir White play. Ryan and I were talking about it. He shot me a text, or I think I forgot where the conversation started, but um, dude, Zamir White getting 17 to start the week. Like if I'm Rick, that just sucks to see. I mean, the guy's a fucking second stringer, wasn't getting any run because Josh Jacobs was getting so much of it. And then that game, I mean, that game was insane. What a blowout. Sorry, Logue. I mean, at this point, you probably folded it for the year, but after the Herbert injury. But God, man, that was just a bloodbath. I mean, they were just pounding the Chargers.
Does Ryan play him again?
Nah, I think Jacobs is back this week.
But I was looking at his bench, like open up his bench. Like he had,
Oh yeah,
he's never running back that. I mean, he had Algier that put up 6 points. Like who's he gonna play?
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that this week. Yeah, that's a huge glaring hole right now, unfortunately for Ryan. And then if you combine that with the misery of having Bijan as your running back one, I mean, yeah, could he have a good week? Sure, but I'd hate to fucking rely on Bijan Robinson in my semifinal matchup. I'll say that. And let's go to Rick. I mean, God, Rick, I feel bad hosting the show last week and just came up a bit short. Not a bad week. He's going to be kicking himself pretty much the entire offseason that, DeAndre had that dud against Houston when, James Cook had an absolute monster game. I mean, watching that game, James Cook was going off, dude. Like he just everything ran through him, and which sucks to see as a guy that I could have kept and or not traded and then kept. But yeah, I mean, 36 easily gets in the win. That was probably the only decision he was contemplating the whole week. But Hopkins is just coming off. Was it last week that he had that huge game? Yeah, 25, 18 before it.
Huge mistake.
Probably was the play though. I mean, but James Cook at home against Dallas. I mean, I think I would have played Hopkins too, but that sucks.
Pull up Cook. How was Cook doing the last couple of weeks?
I think
classic shit managing.
25 honestly. Last week. Yeah, I mean, and he's kind of trending up 19, 16. I mean, pretty much after he got off of Green Bay Packers roster, he decided to start flying.
So I like playing those teams that have high expectations and like need to win. Like the Bills, I feel like they're playing with a chip on their shoulder right now. Like they can't miss the playoffs.
I mean, so, the major thing is, yeah, the major point I would say, and Arby's has him, is like, dude, he's got Josh Allen, so he's at least going to get the passing work. I mean, that was the whole conundrum that I had with him, was that he just didn't get any rushes, but I mean, he had 179 rushing yards. Looks like they're figuring out to give it to their most talented running back that I've been screaming for all year.
Did he even have any catches in that game? Like, not really. 2 catches?
Yeah, tutty, but receiving tutty.
Okay, yeah.
But he had 2 catches.
Yeah, it does suck. Like, when you're down to that flex, I'm sure Rick was debating Cook and him, and it does suck when that would have won it for him.
It said against Dallas, he had his most rushes in the season, 25. He didn't have a 20-yard or a 20 attempt game the entire season. That sucks.
No, no one really saw that coming.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, but it does suck to see that on your bench, like 36 spot. Like that's a monster week. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's full PPR or not. Like 30 plus, you're almost you realistically, if your other guys do their jobs, 30 points get you a win. Like
that was the best game of Cook's life. I mean, he's never done that.
Probably, yeah.
I mean, Rick really he lost because his 2 studs didn't do what they need to do. I mean, Mahomes again and Diggs sucked.
You're right.
Terrible. I don't know why.
Is Diggs even a stud anymore?
I mean, look at that first stretch of games. That's insane. Then
this is brutal, man. Like, I mean, Rick commented on it against the Eagles, that touchdown at the goal line. Outside of that, though, like, I think this was the game he was talking about. Outside of that, it's been rough. 6, 19, 6 and 8. Yeah, I don't know. Their offense definitely looked a little weird to start the year, although he was kind of performing in the beginning of the year. I mean, 26, 13, 19, 36, 24, 20. I mean, it really started in like week 10. He's just been terrible. Yeah, you're right. I guess I kind of glanced over the Diggs part, but
those were his first 2-round picks. Like the rest of his team did pretty good. I mean,
Mahomes has been a huge disappointment.
Cook outscored both his first 2-round picks. That's
good point.
Njoku almost beat him.
Yeah, you're right about that. Rick.
So
Damn, I really was pulling for Rick. I'm not even just saying that. I wanted Rick to get his first ship. I really was. But he took it seriously. He made the right moves all year. Just didn't perform. Team didn't perform enough to
yeah,
take a victory away. All right,
Yeah,
let's
Rick
go.
Rick really came to play this year. I'll give him that, but just turned into classic shit right down in the I think we had a lot of sandwiches ready. I had Miguel, pull your pants up. I had a lot he was ready to just we were shitting on bread. I thought I was playing him. I was already had a menu ready and I'm shocked I'm playing Dre. It was crazy. This is crazy. Throws me off. I'll rebound.
Nothing. Nothing. Really just takes away from a shit sandwich like shit on toast. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Pull your pants up. Pull your pants up. Anyway.
let's get into the Dre's matchup. Woo, Dre, you had to have been sweating it, man. I felt the pressure for you, and I'm not even by any means attached to you. There's so many questions coming into this matchup, but you
yes,
find a way, man. You find a way.
He does. That's Dre to a T, dude.
Pretty,
yeah,
pretty.
yeah. I was really shitting my pants, and the whole Noah Brown play, like he was already on my bench, so I put him in. I mean, he goosed the last 2 weeks. I did not feel great about it, and
Oh,
gee,
that's a shot
I was
at Aaron right there,
like,
huh?
there were like four
Juice.
other guys I was like close
Yeah.
to push the button on, and great. I mean, at the end of the day, it really wouldn't have even mattered, but because Aaron's team,
Well, Dre, you and I were talking about a potential Rice trade earlier in the year, and
Yeah, thank
you
God.
pulled out.
you're right, dude. I offered Rice to probably half the league, and nobody wanted him.
This guy might be
And
a
I
league
wanted
winner
him. You
for him.
would trade him to me.
we were gonna split Rice and Zach Moss, but
Yeah,
that
it
was
was good.
when
It was good. I mean, you held on to him. I mean, he might be their guy. I mean, honestly, next year
Definitely, definitely.
he's gonna go pretty high. I mean, he's good.
I mean, I
Yeah, I
expect
mean,
them to make some changes to the wide receiver room.
I think so
I
too.
mean, they literally have no one else. Thankfully, they've realized like he's just the guy to throw to, and he looks pretty good out there. I mean, if he works on his route running, he could be. He's explosive. He's kind of like a little like a Debo type player where you just give him the ball and he'll truck stick people. Um, I like him. He's a good player. So
Well, your lineup set up nice, to be honest, with him and Kelsey because Mahomes has no faith in anyone else. I mean, he's not gonna throw to Tony anymore. There's
How can he?
everyone for a while thought that, who was it? Not Hardman, but the other Sky Moore was there's no he doesn't throw to anyone else. Both those guys are gonna get all the targets. It's a nice setup you have if you play them both, if you decide to play them both going forward.
yeah, I like those guys.
He's he's pretty
We
much
had
gonna pretty much
yeah,
have to.
the first so the first night I think who was it? I think Hawkinson played. He didn't do much, and then Chase. I didn't even realize he got hurt. I was at a Christmas event and just refreshing the scores a little, and he just was stuck on 4 for 64. I didn't know what was going on, but apparently he got hurt. I got on that.
Yep,
Um,
shoulder injury.
then Zach Moss, same thing, dude. He caught a touchdown. I got the notification on my phone and saw he had
When he got
12.
hurt.
I put my phone away and looked back 2 hours later, and he still had the same amount of points. I was like, "What the hell is going on?"
Yeah, it's tough.
But yeah, and then honestly, on Sunday, I was watching. I was with Logue watching the games, and I mean, we were going back and forth for a little bit, but I don't know. Aaron just never like none of his guys really did anything. Mostert scored the 2 touchdowns, but he literally wasn't. He wasn't stacking yards or catches or anything. It wasn't like a point.
Nah, the score 18 with two tutties. That's crazy.
Not
Yeah, and
great. Yeah.
Noah Brown and Rasheed Rice were Rasheed had an early touchdown. Noah Brown had like 4 catches on the first drive or something. And
Yeah, I
then
guess you would have still won without that Noah Brown play, but that was a nice play. I'll tell you that.
yeah,
Well,
we're
That's what you got to do, man. That's what you got to do. Like that was the right play.
I think what it came down to was like because Andy and I were texting, and I guess full disclosure, just like kind of how it shaked out. He obviously was waiting for Tyreek to come back on Sunday. Could have played Deontay the day before, and elected not to, which is probably the right. I mean, what is the right decision? I mean, the Steelers are terrible offensively, so he's unfortunately Deontay gets in pretty early, I think, right? Like from what I remember that game. And Tyreek sits. He's got to play somebody. I mean, Noah Brown's a great play, even without CJ Stroud, because he literally was the only guy they had. I mean,
Yeah.
Nico's out, Tank's out for the year. It's great play. I mean, it was a great backup play. You play Gibson, obviously, knowing that Brian Robinson was out. And,
Yeah, he pissed me
that
off.
wasn't great. Yeah, I was gonna
I
say
don't know
that
if he
wasn't a
got
great
hurt
play.
or what.
Will you play Noah again?
Oh, I don't know. We'll have to
might.
talk about that.
We'll get
That's
that. Don't jump ahead. That's
yeah.
episode. That's the second half of the episode. No, it's
The only other note I'll make is like, I think the turning point was it was a pretty close matchup still. We were just sort of going back and forth a little bit. And Logan and I were watching Red Zone, and someone was in the Red Zone, and Scott like switched over to the Cleveland game, and like Flacco had the ball at like his own 30-yard line or something, and I just like stood up. I'm like, holy shit. This is either a pick six or a bomb touchdown. Like, there's no way they would switch over this. And then he threw it across the middle, bobbled off some guy, and he ran it back for a pick six. I was losing my mind. That was huge. And then I just kind of pulled away after that. I mean, Aaron's team just didn't do anything. There was no threat at all. So
You had him.
It's tough. It's tough for Aaron. I mean, same thing. He was dealing with some, can't say one injury or the other. You had Tyreek, who has been arguably the best player fantasy wise, besides we'll say quarterbacks in terms of points per game. And he had Olave out. He's had Watson out, which could have been a nice, at least a fill in for some of these guys. And just the rest of his guys, to your point, like Tua, they were up so big against the Jets, like he didn't have to throw even without Tyreek. They just he gets the touchdowns with Mostert, but again, your quarterback gets less than 20. That's a tough start. I mean, it's an uphill climb to get past 100 and get to that reasonable 120 mark that we keep talking about. And like the two winners of the week were at 117 and 123. That it takes a lot for a team to exceed 120 to beat you there. And yeah, it's unfortunate, man. The Bandits just didn't.
Aaron's team, it was kind of like the whole year. I mean, because he kept Pollard, which I mean, after the draft, his team was stacked. Like he just had
he's got the names. They just didn't live up to expectations.
Year, like, it just never. Yeah, they just never.
Ridley Chase didn't do what he was gonna do. I mean,
Burrow.
No one went off. Dre, the Chicago D play as well, though.
Yeah, that pick was insane. Yeah, I do remember seeing that on Red Zone. Now that you mention it, which is hilarious. Red Zone's if you don't have Red Zone, you're you're behind the eight ball especially with fantasy. It's just the best. And now this like multi. I mean, I have YouTube TV, so they have the coverage, and with the multi thing, it's awesome. It's awesome.
It's just a lot of football happening at the same time.
Yeah, a little plug for YouTube TV.
Arby's. Who, as you were watching these games, who were you hoping to play or not play? How are you ranking the four teams beneath you?
It's a great question.
I wanted shit. I mean, he's been calling me out. I was ready. I had a whole game plan. It shocked me. I didn't even find out he lost till just like 10 minutes before this aired. I had no idea. I lost a bet to Mario over there. Put your pants on. Anyway, I wanted him. But I got to pivot. I had no idea I was playing you. This is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, well, really nothing left to talk about in week 15. Obviously, there was only two matchups to highlight. Considering we had some clarity that the consolation bracket is effective to the ping pong balls or lottery balls or whatever system we're using to determine that. Consolation bracket is in fact, and just want to note, I mean, let's just clap it up for Colombian White. 132. That had to be the biggest week of his life, or I'm sorry, the season. And wow, hey, good for you, Colombian White. You still got to put the presentation together.
Godwin had like, what did he have? 26.
Well, does that mean anything though? Does that mean anything?
Just I'm joking. I'm more so just joking. The ping pong ball.
Okay.
No, actually, Godwin, he didn't even play.
I'm pumped to see this punishment. I'll tell you that.
But yeah, I mean, Vegas D was obviously great. McLaurin.
I hope he
We want
takes it seriously.
to highlight
What's
these.
on it?
Yeah, I mean, let me just highlight for my co-host who is MIA, obviously with the kids. Gotta say, man, 50 points is I think is easily the worst week of the season for any manager. I know it's
Yeah,
consolation
but
bracket. I'm not gonna
did he
harp on it
set
too
his
much.
lineup? Like, did
Oh,
this
100%,
didn't even?
100%.
Yeah, you're right. He did.
This team just sucked. You got to play your guys. Obviously, you're not streaming, defensive matchups, but 50 points. Not that I was paying much attention to this, but I mean, the only
Well, I'll
thing
tell
that,
you what, his team sucked 1 week too late
yeah,
because that would have
yeah.
happened the week before. Get your Microsoft Office updated, sir.
Yeah, I think he still might have beat Phil on points, but yeah, I like to highlight that. I beat.
Anyway, before you move on, one final shout out to the Bastards. If he had won last week, he would have played me and he'd be moving on to the semifinals.
Mm,
That's just
I
the
do
way.
like that managers still set their lineups just so you can say it, just so you could do what we just did here. Like,
Yeah.
you gotta
I
still
I
set your lineup.
I actually do find this part of it interesting, even though like it's woulda, coulda, shoulda. It's all hindsight
Yeah,
shit, but yeah, if the Bastards, I
definitely.
mean, I play him this week, so he gets to line up again and see like where he would stack up. I mean, yeah, it's funny you say that, Andy, because it'll be interesting. I mean, those guys that were just on the cusp can do this. I guess really only the Bastards can do this and say, hey, what could have been, unfortunately. But yeah, we'll see. Yeah, that sucks. I didn't really know. I didn't really factor that in. That's interesting. All right, let's get to the good stuff, boys. Semifinals of the fantasy
Good
playoff.
semifinals.
That's got to feel great. I mean, you know, God, this is a fun time. This is a fun time.
This
Very
is
nervous
great.
time.
Final
A lot
four.
of, lot of
Let's
anxiety. A lot of
go.
anxiety during this for me, and I'm not even playing in it. All right, let's.
Yeah.
We have the two guys playing each other, so we have to go with the first matchup and go with Finkel and Tiburon. Tiburon, I wouldn't say much of an upset, even though he's the 6th seed. He's got a great team, but gets the upset, we'll say, over Rick, and he gets to face Ant a third time. Hold on. Actually, before we get into this, since this is the third time they're playing, I actually went back and looked at what weeks they played each other. So here we go.
Tough to beat a team 3 times.
It is, but they've had some pretty overall like epic matchups. I mean, Anthony back in week 2 beat him by 3 points. It was 118, 115. We're not going to go back and highlight anything really of players, but very tight matchup, close matchup. Just gets the better of Ryan. And week 2, I think Ryan had the most points in week 1. So, Ryan's team was still looking good. He's obviously in the semis, but yeah, it's funny though. The only thing I went back and looked at was like Anthony had Daniel Jones that week who had 34. Like kind of funny, like that, not even on his roster, as Rick had mentioned. Or I'm sorry, it was Andy, it was you. I gotta credit you.
Yeah, I
Anthony's
think
two
that's
quarterbacks,
yeah.
Daniel Jones and Kenny Pickett. Yeah, hilarious. And then they played each other recently. They played each other in week 13. Let's go back a couple weeks here. Here we go. And Anthony just exploded. 143, 123. Hell of a matchup. Again, both managers going off. Unfortunately, Anthony just gets the better of him.
I
Team
was
went
like
off
in the
here.
heart of Anthony's prime where he was
Yeah,
scoring like 40
yeah.
plus every week. Easy.
Yeah, this is like the start of, or like in the middle, like you said, of like where he like ran off like 5 in a row, which is impressive. So yeah, I mean, really good matchups, really close matchups, and good point totals from both managers. So this is gonna be really, I think it's gonna be a lot closer than what the projections have it at. Unfortunately,
Definitely.
that glaring hole for our, I want to say Arby's. I don't know why the R's are getting me. The glaring hole with Ryan is his running backs, and specifically his RB2. Like right now, he's got AJ Dillon in, who has a broken thumb. He didn't play last week. Aaron Jones
Mhm.
came back, looked pretty good. And so did Patrick Taylor, who's their running back 3. So
He can't play Dylan, right?
I don't see much options,
He's
man. I
not
mean, look
even
at his bench.
close.
Like Kareem Hunt, who's also RB2. I guess maybe that's the look. Maybe he thinks Algier again
Yeah,
leads that backfield,
just
but he
stack
can't play
Bijan and
2 Atlanta.
he
Yeah.
should just
Listen, if he
play them
plays
both.
Dylan, that's
Yeah, I
that's
guess he
that's
could.
the difference here. I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean,
because
and it, but
there,
like,
and I look at this, it's pretty even. I mean,
yeah,
Bijan, I don't think is going to have 2 duds, and Bryce Hall is a question mark for
yeah. I mean, the only
for Anthony
benefit
too.
for the Brees Hall matchup for Anth, even though the Jets' offense is absolutely putrid. Like
Good
they
matchup
might
for
be.
him though.
Yeah, Washington's defense is terrible. So, Brees Hall playing Brees Hall is a decent play for a flex. I mean, yeah, that's probably the only guy I can look at Anthony's roster and say like, damn, like Brees Hall's a tough matchup. Keenan's out, so he doesn't have that option. You kind of could decide between Dak and Purdy. I would play Purdy. He has
Yeah,
McCaffrey. Why
I
wouldn't you?
was looking at that. That's a tough decision right there. I mean, he is Purdy and McCaffrey playing Baltimore,
They're
which
home. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, it's not. That's a
Boys, who
tough.
do you think's gonna have more points, Purdy or Jackson, playing against each other?
Dude,
It's
Anthony,
super close. I mean, the
I
winner of that game could win this matchup.
100%.
I think
It's you're playing the
okay.
two quarterbacks on Monday night. Like that is I would have an
Look
anxiety
look
attack waking up Monday
I
morning.
Lamar's.
really hope it
What's
comes
Lamar's
down to
stats
like a
been the
pretty
past
even
few
score.
games?
I know last week it was really good. 37 last week and 20. Relatively subdue, I guess if you want to call it for this past week. But I mean 20 solid. I don't see. I
Yeah,
mean
but this
Purdy
is a
had
big game for both of them. Like this is a
Purdy
must win in real life.
Purdy.
This is a must win in fantasy. This is
Look at this
exciting
man.
if they keep if it's Purdy versus Jackson here. This is cool.
I'll tell.
Yeah, I mean
I think my initial prediction for this game, I think the Niners just absolutely blow them out.
that's what I
I just
think.
don't. I think Baltimore gets exposed. They just don't really have any weapons. Their running backs are pretty shitty. Their wide receivers aren't that good. They don't have Mark Andrews. And San Fran has speed. They have everything on defense. I think they're win. Wow.
Well, I don't think they get exposed. Baltimore never gets exposed. And if anything, without they just lost Mitchell, that just means Jackson's gonna have to do more, which is just dangerous for Tiburon. I think like you could see a big Odell game here. Like they're gonna have to throw. Jackson's gonna have to win this game, which is
Yeah,
could
it's
carry
just
Tiburon here. I mean, they have no running game now. They got no one.
no, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Odell sucks though. They don't have any I mean, uh Flowers is hurt too. What's his status? I saw he was
Is
playing.
Flowers hurt? I don't know that.
He is on team training. So let's see. No concern.
Oh, he didn't practice. All
I
right, so
mean, I mean, they're not like studs, but Flowers, Bateman, Odell, like that's and
Yeah,
I mean, likely's been going off. I mean, it's
I would
he's
side
they're
I would
fine.
side with Andy or I'm sorry, with your take a little bit, Arby's, but the fact that like San Fran's playing at home on Monday night and like they basically have a clear path just to win out and get the number one seed. I don't see how they aren't up for this game. Not to say Baltimore's not, but playing at home's a different animal in a big game like this on Monday night. I think too. The energy is going to be there. Christmas night, I don't know, man. I do think it's going to come down to the quarterbacks. I mean, just because I think McCaffrey's already projected 21. He's going to get that. I mean,
yeah.
you don't have to, Anthony can pencil whatever point total he wants for McCaffrey that he's averaging this week or this year, I should say. But the quarterback situation for sure is highlighted here, especially coming into Monday night. I mean, that's, whew, I mean, and he's got Ayuk. I forgot on that other side. So I mean, that's if he gets
Listen,
anything to Ayuk,
either of
that's
you
something.
would be willing to put your cheese where your mouth is. I'll take Lamar Jackson to outscore Purdy. Anyone
I'll take
wanna
I'll take that,
take me on that?
Arby's. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow, love
I
that.
think
All right, well,
Lamar outscores Purdy.
we're
All
gonna
right.
make sure that that's
What
already
do you want to
well.
bet?
What do you want to put on it? Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Well, I mean, one thing I'll say is I'll ship you a case of this newly Death by Cheese, just some liquid cheese. We're shop working the name and the logo, but I'll put a case of that up there.
At this point,
It's
he needs
thick.
all the mark. They need the marketing he
Oh,
can get. He's giving
he's
out for
drinking
free.
that.
Oh, that's thick. Ooh, less,
God.
need less. Anyway, yeah, I'll take Lamar.
So
All
that
right.
case is probably worth about $10, we'll say. So yeah,
7.
that's on 7. There you go, good price. Little under 10. No one wants to see the double digits.
Yep.
Interesting though. That is probably the play. Let's do some pick'ems. We only have 2 matchups to pick. I
Let's
guess it's
go.
hard for you guys to
Let's
do them.
go. Yeah, let's go. Let's go position by position. So
All
I
right.
think say quarterback we're pushing. Like I don't
That's
think we
fair.
can. Wide receiver, would you rather have Evans and DJ Moore or St. Brown and Pittman?
Well, Pittman's a question mark. I mean, I think he practiced on a limited basis, like I said. But he got rocked last week, so I don't think he's out of concussion protocol yet or cleared. He
Ooh,
might be
that's
if he
a
practiced.
that's a big concern for Tibb there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
wait,
gonna.
He
who
doesn't
would he
have a
put
deep bench at all. He's
He can move
literally
Yeah,
has
Ryan
no
now,
bench.
but who could he put in? Oh,
Shahid tomorrow night. He would have to play him or play the waiver wire because he has no other wide
Damn.
receivers on
Nah,
his
I think Ant's
roster.
gonna pull this out. I think Ryan's just got a couple weak spots. If he can't find a Dylan replacement or a Pittman replacement, that's
Yeah,
trouble.
yeah, I think
yeah,
you're
the
right because I mean,
American
even if
Miracle
he
is
moved,
gonna end.
Ant's just
even if
solid, dude. He's just solid all the way around.
yeah,
Even if he
he's
has a
been
down
deep.
game from someone, I mean, he's got good. He's stacked, man.
Yeah, I mean, Anthony's just too talented. I mean, even if he plays Prescott, it's not that crazy. I do think, yeah, if you're playing matchup to matchup, he's got Ayuk. Why you got? I would play Purdy, and you have McCaffrey.
Like this game screams a Goddard game to me too. Like the Eagles are pissed.
Yeah,
Like Goddard could go
he's
off.
been
I mean, and
he's
that's a
been
guy that's
really, yeah, he's been really subdued, man. Like since he came back, he's
yeah.
like 7-7. Like they're not really finding him. They're not targeting him in the red zone. Obviously, I mean, also they haven't really gotten to the red zone. They usually just get to the one or inside the five and seem to run it in. But um, yeah, I do think Goddard. I expect to bounce back. I mean, ETN needs to be ETN. He had like almost 10 last week, but if he gets a good performance by his two running backs, it's gonna be really hard to Ryan to even compete. I think a little bit in this
Yeah.
matchup. I mean, Bijan, yeah, projecting 15. I don't know you're gonna get more than 15 from Bijan, even if it has a good game. And
Yeah,
then
I
to
kind of
your
agree.
point. I mean, if he has to play either Pierce or Hunt, um, or Algier, I guess, because I mean, Dylan with a broken thumb. I don't even know if he plays this week, and even if he does play, like, is that who he wants to rely on in the semis? Unfortunately, Pierce hasn't worked out for him. I mean, that should have been his RB2, but yeah, it's tough, man. He doesn't really have a
Yeah,
lot of
he's in a tough
backups.
spot here. There's no one really available.
Yep, yep.
I mean, unless by some miracle, which would help me out, that like none of the Colts backs play and he gets to play Sermon, but that's pretty unlikely.
Nah, Taylor's already playing. He practiced today. Um, we're gonna get
Yeah,
to
I
that.
got
I
Lamar
think
over Purdy, but I got Finkel moving on.
Yeah, I
yeah,
got Finkel.
I've got Finkel moving too. I
It's
just
just hard to look
I
like
mean,
look in those
unless St.
matchups.
Brown, I mean, he needs St. Brown to have like one of his epic games, and Lamar to have like a 30+ game to
Yeah,
even.
and St. Brown's got an in division game. Minnesota's still alive. It's going to be a
Both of them be a tight
grinded
game.
out game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Minnesota's home. I mean, yeah, I agree. We'll see. I mean,
I
Tiburon
hate
shocked
that
us all
Dylan
year.
play. I kind of
Yeah,
hope he
it's tough.
doesn't do that. But I
The
mean,
other
if
sneaky
Jones is
for
playing,
Tibbs, I like a sneaky play on Tibbs is Buffalo's D against
Yes, I agree with that.
LA.
Yeah,
LA is a
yeah.
mess right now. We saw with
no,
Vegas.
that's solid.
Buffalo. I
I mean,
mean, could Buffalo
but
put up a 30-point week on D?
that
It's
would
possible.
that
Does
would
he dare play Shahid Thursday?
you'd have to make that call tomorrow. I doubt it, but yeah, I mean
Yeah,
that
it's
is good.
tough.
Let's highlight what just or echo what Andy just said because I did see that in the matchup. I mean, Ant's got Washington against the Jets, but Washington's defense again, like I said, is terrible. So either he gets a couple points from I guess what Simeon's probably starting for the Jets. So he could get a couple points from some turnovers or just them being just absolute dog shit on offense. But to your point, Buffalo against the Chargers. Damn, we just saw what happened with Vegas last week, and they're by no means, in the hunt or as hungry as Buffalo is right now to make a statement. So, damn, that would be if I was Anthony, that would be my biggest circle of worry is the defense. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah,
Damn.
I
All
agree.
right. Well, I'll let
How
you
about
two
the
just.
balls on Ant to be carrying an empty bench spot right now, huh?
Yeah, he
Throwing
doesn't
it
give a
in
fuck.
Tabron's face. That is
Hey,
just
G,
almost
what's
disrespectful.
Ian saying about this? Have you talked to him? How's he feeling?
I mean,
He
it runs in
doesn't
the
need
family.
anything.
We're anxious. We second guess ourselves. I mean, it runs in the blood on the Amade side, but he's obviously a little bit more mellow than I am. So yeah, I mean, hey, this is a tough league to win, and Ants won it once. He's staring down the barrel as the best team, the number one seed. All the pressure's on Ant. So
Yeah.
the year he won it, I think he was the sixth seed or the fifth seed. He was a guy that just got hot and made a hell of a playoff run. Now there's a lot of pressure as the one seed. I had it last year, I think, and I
Well,
crumbled. I
as
played
much as
against
I
Logue.
was saying before, it's tough to set it and forget it. Ant's kind of the opposite. He's kind of got a set and forget it lineup going on. And I don't see any
Yeah,
reason for him to go against it. He doesn't even need to fill his bench. It's insane.
yeah. Well, he just dropped Sam Howell. That was his bench spot. But yeah, I mean, to your point though, like
If I
looking
was
at his
him, I'd drop
roster,
like 5 more guys and just make a statement. Just
play a starting
carry
lineup.
like 8 guys and just
But
win it.
he's got to feel confident. I mean, any manager in the playoffs that has McCaffrey, I mean, can you not feel like you got a little chip on your shoulder with that guy? That guy's unbelievable. Tom Brady came out and said that he should be the MVP frontrunner, and I agree. I think more positional players should be in the hunt. And not to take
Is
away
this
from
his
Brock
best
Purdy,
year ever?
dude, the guy's incredible. I don't know if it's his best year ever, but like, I mean, you're scoring a touchdown every game to 2 touchdowns every game, like literally except for one game this year. That's crazy, man. Like that's nuts. And him and Tyreek deserve every bit of the recognition they're getting in this MVP, chase, we'll say. But it's probably gonna go to his quarterback. I mean, if San Francisco wins out and he looks all right and they get the number one seed in the NFC, they're gonna give it to Purdy. Why wouldn't they give it to Purdy? It's a quarterback driven league. I mean,
I don't think it
it's
shouldn't though. I mean, Purdy wouldn't be what he's doing without McCaffrey.
and
I
Purdy's had
guess
a
you
hell
could
of a year.
maybe argue McCaffrey couldn't. I think McCaffrey would have a better chance of doing this on San Fran with like Garoppolo.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I saw an interview that Kirk Cousins did about the potential for him to like go to San Fran a couple years ago, and like now they got this Brock Purdy kid that like they're that job's secure. If it wasn't secure last year after he came in, I think it's pretty secure now. Like he's their franchise quarterback. He looks great. I mean, he looks the part. They have so many
Yeah.
weapons. San Fran looks awesome. I mean, it's sucks to say that to two Eagles fans, but I'm a Packers fan. They've had our number the entire Aaron Rodgers era, unfortunately, in the playoffs. So, yeah,
It's a
it's
really good fit. He doesn't make any mistakes.
good game manager, great players around him. Finds them. All those guys are going off pretty much. I mean, Kittle's steady. Ayuk's been great. Debo's been tearing it up, as we're going to get to, and McCaffrey's the number one running back in the league. So
Yeah,
they're
but I
crazy,
mean,
man.
what you just said though. I mean, he's loaded with weapons,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely loaded.
100%, 100%.
I mean, I would
Yeah.
say a
So
lot of quarterbacks could be leading this San Fran team, but he's doing it.
I agree. All right. Well,
Uh,
let's let you guys. Well, you might as well break down the matchup. You guys are playing each other. We kind of talked about some of the stuff in lead up.
I'll
So
tell you
I
what,
think, how do you
I'm
feel?
terrified of Debo. I mean, pull up his stats. Like
He has
I
been
remember
electric.
last year he was not that good. I don't know, like were they not scheming for him, or I don't know what was
he was
going
out of
on. But
shape.
whatever he's
He was
doing
out of
He
now,
could
shape.
have
He
been.
came back
He
pissed off.
could have been.
He's an uber
he's also
athletic
wide
guy.
open.
I mean,
What's that, Andy?
He's wide open most of the time too.
So explosive though. It's insane to watch.
Yeah, I'm scared of him. I mean, I'm just hoping like Baltimore has some type of insane scheme to slow them down.
that's gonna be a great game.
That's an awesome game. Yeah, that's
On
an awesome
Christmas,
game.
it really is a treat for
Merry
everybody.
Christmas. Merry Christmas. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, Debo is
and the
definitely
fact that
against
it means something for both of them, like, love it,
game.
love it. Like you usually get this point, like one team doesn't really need it. They both need it. It's great,
Coming like
great.
I might have been an episode or two ago, and I forgot when I said it, but Debo was just trending up right at that peak of that, or like right in the middle of it, and like those are playoff winning players. I mean, fantasy winning players. Like you get a guy like that that's just trending at like 25 plus, like pretty much every week. Like that's insane. I mean, and honestly, for you RBs, like it complements the fact that like AJ Brown's been relatively subdued. I mean, just as an Eagles fan, we've talked about it. I mean, it's that offense does not look that great, obviously, over the last couple games, and yeah,
Hey,
it's
look, I mean, from my point of
he's kind of
view,
taken over.
last week with my bye week, I rested some guys. it couldn't have played out better. Allen had his worst week. Brown had a down week.
Sure.
Now they're both in must wins. This is good.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good takeaway. I mean, their Bills are trying to continue the momentum and get into the playoffs, and Eagles get a get right game, if you want to call it, at home against the Giants on Christmas Day. I mean,
I mean, I don't know if it's going to happen, but they need it. They need and Brown
100%.
needs it. So I mean, you got to like his chances to have a big game here. I'm
Rashad
almost
White.
more nervous about Samuel than you are because he's been playing so well. He's almost due for a down game.
This
I
guy,
mean, that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping
Like
Rashad
if
White
I'm
has.
Baltimore, I'm
this guy
just
has
keying
been
in on him.
silly.
The only thing is, yeah, they just got so many guys. You almost can't key on any guy. So it's kind of random with San Fran. Like who's gonna score? Like
I
Debo
mean,
only had 4 catches, I think, last week.
a touchdown though. I mean, yeah, it's
Yeah, but I mean, like, 4 catches, that could be 40 yards a different week. So I mean, it's not like he got
two
peppered.
tutties. Never mind. Sorry, two tutties. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If I was Andy, he's definitely, he's definitely the guy that I'd be a
This is
little
like
fearful.
Arby's lineup top to bottom is terrifying, and
Yeah,
I need
stacked.
a couple guys to have one of their worst weeks, and I need my guys to show up. I mean, thankfully, it
Which you
hasn't
did.
happened much this year, but if I can have, I mean, if Tyreek's back, if Achan's healthy, if Taylor's back, like I finally have a full lineup, and I don't know. I mean, I have enough guys I can go off. They haven't consistently
Yeah, and you
done
got
it yet.
Hurts to kind of match up with Brown. I mean, Brown can't score without Hurts scoring. That's pretty big.
Yeah, I mean that
Yeah,
that definitely kind of cancels out some. I think it benefits the wide receiver in a full point PPR,
Yeah,
depending on
in
how many catches.
PPR it does.
Yeah, but I do
that
think you're to
pretty
your
much
point.
neutralizes Hirsch.
Yeah, well, for him, I mean, Hertz has been rushing it as we kind of talked about. One of our buddies shared it. Ben's in that group text from our like college league. Like he said, like 24% of what was it, Hertz's touchdowns were from the push, which is pretty
Yeah, it was
insane if you
even
think
more
about it.
than that.
Oh, was it more? I was gonna say, regardless though, that's crazy. That's a crazy stat. Like a quarter of his touchdowns are from the tush push, which is like that's nuts, man. Like that's a wild stat because it's happened so frequently from the one. It gets in every time. Like that's a crazy stat. But
Yeah,
yeah, I think to
poor
your point,
DeAndre Swift just getting tackled at the
yeah,
one every time.
yeah,
I'll take it.
his own player tackled him last week by accident. Kelsey like fell in front of him, like right at the one, and Hurts
That's what
catches
I'm
it.
coaching the guys this week. Get down at the one.
Get down.
Yeah, get down.
Um,
Burn some
Tyreek's
clock. Let Jalen get in.
the Miami offense as a whole is going to be huge for you. Tyreek obviously and Achan. I mean,
28% of Hurts's
okay,
points come from
28.
the tush push. It's
Close.
crazy.
Yeah, that's a crazy stat. But
Yeah.
Tyreek, the Miami offense has to step up, and same with the Chiefs. I mean, we noted the double stack, more of like just players. I mean, those are the two teams you invested in. Not a bad two teams to invest in by any means, but you need points. I mean, you need Rashi Rice, as we noted, has been good. He's been great, really. I'm really happy I dropped him after drafting him. So yeah, there's a nice little
Mm.
piece for you. But
Well, Dre, you did the smart thing, man. You grabbed Dolphins, Chiefs, Eagles.
yeah,
I mean, that's
I would say that you probably still have a
it,
decision at flex potentially, even Arby's maybe, depending on if Nico plays. I know CJ. I
yeah.
think CJ Stroud's
My
out.
team comes down to my flex and my defense. Those are my question marks.
Yeah, we
You
could
might.
so who who are you thinking in your flex, Arby's? You have Warren in there now. I saw Najee was practicing, but I mean Warren's definitely the better back, I feel like. You have Chandler.
Well, I mean,
Chandler had
Gio said before, I'm not really, injured, but kind of am. I mean, Warren's the second back. Chandler's the second back. Nico Collins is injured. I don't really have a flex. I gotta choose one of those guys, and
It's
none of them are
really
featured guys. So
it would be no brainer if CJ Stroud's playing and then Nico Collins comes back this week. I mean, I think
I'm pretty sure Stroud's been ruled out.
yeah, he's not playing this week. Yeah, so I'm just saying, like, that would
Yeah,
be
yeah,
an easy
yeah.
decision because I think Nico Collins is clearly the number one, which then unfortunately bumps Noah Brown from Andy's flex spot, or fortunately, if you're looking at it from your perspective.
I think it's
But
going
I
to
do,
be
he
Mills
might,
and Brown though. I don't think Nico's
no,
going to play.
yeah, no, I don't. I think he practiced today though, didn't he? Limited. Yeah, so I mean, he was limited. What does that mean on a Wednesday practice? Not much, but yeah, I mean, potential. I mean, if he was back, I think you play the receiver over the running back, and then adversely, I mean, it might be two Steelers in the flex spots for your guys' matchup. It might be Warren, and you got to kind of think about Deontay Johnson, right? I mean, I don't know. That's if as a
I've
just
always,
if I'm looking
I've
at this on
always,
paper, that's your only other.
yeah,
You're really your only other choice.
yeah. I've always liked Deontay. This whole change now, Mason Rudolph's pat in there too. So
Merry
I
Christmas, though. Maybe a
don't know what's
Christmas
it.
miracle.
So yeah, I mean that's a play. I mean, and it looks like Brian Robinson's out again, so maybe I'll have
Yeah,
the ball
that's true.
throw Gibson in there, just hoping he gets more touches, but I don't know. And then I'll say like a sneaky, like low probability play. I added both Chicago running backs against a shitty Arizona team. I thought like maybe one of them would get hurt in practice or something, and like if Foreman was the guy, like I think he'd get a couple touchdowns, or maybe they'll say, hey, we got to see what Roshan has, and he's going to lead the backfield. Maybe I'd throw one of those guys in. But yeah,
It's not a bad
I don't
play.
know. It's gonna be a tough call. I honestly, it's gonna take a lot of text to Geo. I'll probably call Logan a few times. Maybe hit up Snyder and see what he thinks.
Yeah, put a feeler out there for the guy.
Yeah. So I don't know. I really don't know.
Don't hate to hear you're rooting on a practice injury. Love that.
I
Sometimes
mean,
it's all it takes.
A couple, stubs his turf toe. Yeah, we'll see
you
Roshan
never
out
know.
there.
Who Arby's, what are you thinking at defense? You have a couple decent options.
He does.
Kind of, kind of not really that decent options. I mean, Pittsburgh is a shell of itself right now. They're just completely crumbling. No Minka Fitzpatrick. Cleveland's hurt all over the place. They don't play well on the road. I mean, I know it's a backup quarterback in Houston, but I don't really trust him there. I almost want to just take the Thursday night low scoring under game and see if Derek Carr can just help me out here. That's kind of
Stink.
my thought process.
Stinks.
I mean, I'm kind of banking on a Derek Carr bad performance. That's my thought process. I mean, since their backup's not bad, and he's been putting up
Yeah, he's
points.
playing pretty
I
good.
mean,
Yeah,
Mills
Brownie
played
has been pretty
okay.
good.
I mean, they're in a playoff hunt too. I don't. I've been stressing over this defensive play, to be honest with you.
I will say, like, not to sway or anything. It's just, I mean, the Rams are in the hunt for the playoffs in the NFC. I believe they're in that 7 spot right now. They're at 7-7. Um, so it matter of all the games have significance
Yeah,
outside
they
of,
all
I
do, but
guess,
so is New Orleans. I think New Orleans is literally
they
fighting with the
they
Rams.
do, but I'm like realistically, yeah, you're right. I mean, it could be a low scoring game in that sense too. But I think all of them. I would say that those three defenses all score relatively around the same. I mean, I know they're projected like that, but it's really the crapshoot of like, does one of them have a pick six or a fumble recovery? Like, you know what I mean? Like one of those anomalies. And hey,
The
it's those are
craziest thing is between the backup for Houston, the backup for Cincy. I think I'm going to take the starter for the Saints as the worst quarterback of all of them.
yeah, Carr's terrible,
Yeah,
man.
really.
It's such a
Let's
bum.
go.
Yeah, I don't
It's
know who that's a tough decision. I mean, I mean Cleveland's defense I think is probably the best, but yeah, being on the road,
I agree.
I don't know.
I
Yeah,
mean,
so I
the
mean,
Rams are home in the Charger Stadium. It could be chock full of Chargers fans there.
on Thursday night, I don't think any Charger fans are coming out to watch the Rams Saints game. I'll tell you that. That's probably not what
Oh,
they're paying.
Chargers.
They'd rather they wouldn't even see their own team. I don't think they're going out to watch the Thursday night game. But yeah, I don't know.
Well,
I don't think that's going to make or break the matchup, even with I'm actually flip side. I was surprised. No faith in the Eagles D against the Giants even though they've been
Yeah,
terrible. They're
this is
home.
probably well, yeah. I mean, I have a big decision at defense too, and I don't. The Birds are such a mess right now. I don't. I mean,
Yeah.
Chicago's
DeVito,
D has
DeVito,
been good.
DeVito to Jalen Hyatt is going to be Brady to Randy Moss this week. So I don't know, dude. Chicago's
That's
just been
crazy, Dre. When you drafted them, you would never have thought you wouldn't play the Eagles D, but I mean, it's just like crazy that here we are. They look just
Terrible.
broken.
Yeah, they do not
yeah.
look good.
I
I
have
don't mean
no idea what to expect from the
to
Eagles.
rip on myself for that Eagles pick, but
Yeah, that was a little
Not a bad
early.
pick. That's you gotta love
I really
having your
wanted
team as
defense.
defense.
They locked up Bradbury and Slay. They went and got Carter and Nolan Smith. I thought they'd be just as good, if not better, than last year. And it just
Yeah, I
hasn't
mean,
worked.
yeah, the Eagles are talent wise. There's no question on both sides of the ball that they should be playing some better ball. I mean, at the end of the day, though, I mean they're right there in the hunt. I mean, they're just getting a lot of flack because of the pressure. Well, I wouldn't even say the pressure, just more of the expectations that they carried into the year and how they kind of looked.
I mean,
They,
they're playing like shit. They're
they are,
terrible.
they
I
are,
don't understand
100%.
defense. Man. I don't understand what it is, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna play them. I mean, Chicago. I mean, ever since
They're
Sweat got there, they've been a
yeah, they're trending up.
they've been a feisty defense, and I mean, if you click on their stats, like they've been almost like close to 20 for 3 straight weeks. So I
Yeah, they've
don't.
Damn.
had
I'm thinking I want to ride the hot hand with Kyler out in the cold weather a little bit and
it's true.
see what happens. But
Yeah. 17, 19, 17.
Not that we're gonna look back because this is a while ago, but you guys did play each other in week 5. I looked it
oh,
up.
I feel like Arby's probably blew me away. Look at
No, you
Good
guys
Finkel.
had
week.
yeah, that was a monster week by Finkel, but you guys had a battle. I mean, 137, 127, hell of a matchup. Yeah, pretty very
Hmm.
similar lineups, I will say, to what we're gonna see most likely this weekend. Obviously different matchups, so you can't really factor in what the point totals are, but pretty interesting. I mean, I guess Tyler Boyd is not necessarily your player. And Kyron was traded, but yeah, it's interesting to look back on this. McLaughlin, 17 for you that week. What a week. Um, not even looking.
Nah, dude, in all honesty, Dre and I are very similar managers, man. We're just kind of grinders. I hate playing you. We get a lot of text going back and forth. It's a big week. I feel like we're in an interdivision matchup. We see each other a couple times a year. I'm familiar with you. You're familiar with me. I mean, it's here we are.
It's gonna,
This is
it's gonna
great. This is
be
like Eagles,
a
Dallas
slugfest.
in the playoffs, baby.
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna move the pick'ems here, uh,
Yes, please.
yeah, I want to pick myself, obviously. I think I gotta if I was a betting man, I think I would pick Arby's here, to be completely honest. Only like, dude, my team has been so consistently like 120 to 135. And Arby's the past few weeks has just been like, I feel like he's just hitting that 140 plus mark. And I need some things to go right to get there. So if Arby's has one of his solid like blow up weeks, I don't know if have the firepower. But then again, I've never really had my full lineup, so I have everyone going now. So very optimistic, but and I obviously take myself at heart. But
I think
if I
we
was
got
betting,
two awesome semifinals here. Like seriously,
Arby's.
these
Who
are
would you?
two
Who would you?
firepower teams.
Who do you pick in your own matchup? I mean, Dre picked you. Maybe some psychology there, but who do you got?
Yeah, I don't love it. Don't love hearing that, Trey. You've been doing it all week. I mean, I think you sent me a congrats text earlier this week about
Oh, a little
making the
page out of
finals,
my book.
which on and love. Yeah, a little Green Bull page, but I'm gonna roll with the Cheese Whiz here. Let's go,
Wow,
baby. In
picks
fact,
himself.
perfect opportunity to just kind of break out the new 1 day only. We're coming out with we're bringing it back. 5 for 5 deal is back 1 day only.
Sunday.
Monday or Thursday to Monday. 1 day only
weekend of
though.
it.
5 for 5, 1 day. I will say we're making an exception for a small little shitty town in Florida, Brandon, Florida. We're gonna go with a different deal. We're gonna go with a 5 for 10 deal down there because that is just a shitty spot, and that's still a good deal for them, but don't really want their business. But we're gonna see what happens down there. But yeah, these I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna roll in the finals here. Let's go, baby. Me and Ed.
Wow. Those are he's clicking them tongs. I will say, I would maybe change this pick depending on certain players' availability. Also, I've said it on multiple pods. I do not want to see Ben win another title. I have to go with Dre. I need
Let's
to
go,
see
G.
need to see somebody. I want to see you win one. I need to see parity if I'm not winning the league. I want to see guys get some titles. So, and honestly, I mean, depending on Miami's, you know, potential for those guys to be out, that's going to make or break the matchup. So we'll see what happens.
Look, we talked about it. I think our matchup could come down to picking the correct flex and defense. As crazy as that sounds, we always talk about like defense. It could come down to the flex and defense spot here. We have both kind of just interesting flex and defenses here, man. Like you're not going to swap anyone besides your flex.
Just underwhelmed in the flex. Like I think we're gonna have like a 7 in our flex. And I think it's gonna come down to our stuns this week. I really do. We'll see. I mean, Henry's a wild card. What did he have last week? 2?
I'm not sure. Fire away, Ben. You might.
Henry's coming off the worst game of his year, but I told him to rest up though. So, I mean, he did what I said. We didn't need him 2 weeks in a row. He should be fresh. Let's go, baby. Let's go, big dog.
Got I don't know if I like or dislike having like all these games so spread out. It's like there's game Saturday, all day Sunday, all day Monday, and then there's a Thursday game.
There's a Thursday game, yeah, which we could have a player in.
It is crazy that it comes down to fucking Christmas Day. Holy
I mean,
shit.
that's one of the reasons I'm extending the 1 day special to 4 days.
Giving back.
I might need to add the Thursday to the 1 day special. The decision hasn't been made yet. Follow me on Instagram for the final decision.
So you're gonna have you've got your D. If you play Warren, you've got Warren and Allen going Thursday and Saturdays. Before I have any guys going, so you could have 3 guys with points before I even get on the board. It's a little terrifying, or gives you a lot of hope depending on how those guys do. Damn.
I will say, I think this matchup is definitely going to be hopefully tighter depending on who's playing than the other semifinal. Just because I don't see much weaknesses on both of your teams outside of flex.
This is great. This is great, Trey. Let's go, baby.
The pressure.
There's just a lot of pressure. I mean, dude, this league is insane.
It's insane.
I love it.
It's so intense.
This league. I think who were we talking about last time or whatever, but I feel like you put together a good team and it doesn't happen every year. And when you have a good team and you just get knocked out, it's just so devastating because you just never know how long it's gonna be until you're back in the race. So I don't know.
You gotta get lucky, man. You gotta get lucky. I mean, honestly,
there's a little luck to it for sure.
White has been insane, like an insane player for me. Like he's my number 1 running back, and I
Laporta
would never have thought that starting the season. That's lucky, man. I mean, it's just lucky.
I'll
Yeah, I mean,
say
you
I'll say
drafted
the
well
only thing
though.
we have in common this week, Arby's, I think we're both rooting for Ryan.
Yeah, you should be.
Because I don't want to face neither of us want to face Anthony.
Yeah, but dude, you don't really want to face Ryan. Ryan's a crafty son of a bitch, man. I don't really want to see him in the finals.
I would. I mean,
He's a
nothing for
crafty guy.
nothing.
You never know what he's up to. You never know what he's thinking. He's just
Well,
gonna roll in. That's a strange team to prep for. I
well,
don't have any game plan for him. We're not a fish company here. I don't do with it. I don't know. I had the
I
shit.
could.
I got the bison burger coming up. I don't want to see him.
God forbid they introduce any fish or shark to their menu.
It's
But
too healthy for us. I don't want any part of it. I do hope he loses.
I will say that
Doesn't Arby's offers like a fish fillet, I think, during Lent, don't they? Or they
Fish
just
fillet.
take the
It's still
chemicals and
roast
heat a
beef.
little
It's
bit and
still
they just
roast
call
beef.
it fish.
Don't tell anyone though.
that's
Gee,
where
edit that out, please.
that's where the old roast beef goes, right to the fish fillet.
Yeah,
They carve
yeah.
up too much that
Fish
week. They
fillet.
throw the
Yeah.
fish fillet on special.
Yeah. We do. We do. Come on by. Fish fillet. Yeah.
Oh no, this week we have the fish fillet. Yeah, we have it this week. But yeah, I will say that you know you can't count anyone obviously during the playoffs because of the fantasy thing, like you just mentioned. I mean, anyone can win and any player can get hurt or go off. I mean, anything of that nature, obviously. So there's definitely some luck to it. But I mean, Anthony, you have been, I think, head and shoulders, at least in terms of point totals and consistency. That's why you guys were the top two seeds. So, I do think that you have to root against the number one seed first taking care of business, but then you have to, in the other matchup, be rooting for Tiburon. Just with some of the holes that you can kind of pick and choose. With his RB spots, unfortunately. And does Njoku keep this streak growing? I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, it could possibly happen. He's been great, but
Burn, baby, burn. How's he playing with that face? Insane.
I mean, he's probably healed at this point. Hopefully, if not, they're just not showing him. So it's
Who's
perfect.
your pick, Gene? What's your final?
I picked Dre, man. I picked Dre and
Dre,
Ant.
baby.
Dre and Ant. Okay.
I wish I could talk more shit on your Arby's, but I mean, your team is pretty scary. I really have
Ben,
nothing.
if
I really
you
have
if
nothing
you
to say.
if you win this, is this, let's say, the overall total? We'll double back obviously next week. You have two championships.
No, whoa. I'm just trying to move on.
No,
We're
I'm just counting them
we build
because
our sandwich one layer at a time. I don't even know what that means. I'm focusing on the plantation. In fact, I thought I was playing a different team till this started. I'm one layer at a time, baby. No champ, no nothing. I'm just trying to get past this week. Plantation,
fair enough.
they drive a hard team. They whip their team. Whether you like that or not, whether north or south, I don't know. It's up to him. But I'm just trying to get past him. I'm just trying to get past him.
Just a very
Arby's won. He won in 2014 and 2019.
There you go. Someone I knew he had two. All right, so you're going for three. You'd be nipping at the Green Bay Packers' heels for the overall total championships. We'll
I've
say
never there's no second or third place finish out of Arby's based on what I see.
all or nothing, baby.
If he
And Ricky
wins, he's
Bobby,
gonna
baby,
take
I'm
the
first to
title. If
last.
he loses, he's gonna come in fourth. Huge week for you.
We'll be ready. We'll be ready.
Vegas knows where to put their money on or their lines on next week, depending on what Arby's does. Either they know,
we'll be ready.
They're either fading him for the third place matchup, or they're throwing all kinds of plus minus his way for the championship, regardless of who he plays. That's funny. That's crazy stat. And then
Go,
I think
boys.
Ryan and Anthony are definitely going for their second. I think since we went to 12-man. I know Brian has a couple, I think, or at least one prior to we made it a 12-man league, and we know the struggles of Andre's plantation, and at least to get to that elusive first title. So a lot of history here on the line. Good, bad, indifferent, whatever your opinions are of. I'm sure. I don't know. I don't know how anyone could root for Arby's. I mean, guys going for three. I mean,
Yeah, Arby's is the most hated team left for sure. I mean, that's
Honestly,
been
yeah.
well, that's been
Ray,
well
I've said this
documented.
before, buddy, and I'll say it again. 2027 is your year. Okay? Just hang in there, buddy.
Just
I'll
keep
take it.
battling. Keep battling. Damn, boys,
Keep
this
just
is
keep drafting, baby. Just keep planting seeds.
so before they went to 17 week 17s, I should say, or a 17 game schedule. This used to be the championship. When you get your you would know by Christmas, or that Christmas weekend or Christmas week, if you were winning
Dude, the
it. So it's kind of
championship's gonna be on Christmas Day. Has that ever happened?
on Christmas Day. I think so, yeah. But I mean, the championship actually is going to be on
Yeah, but
New Year's
Christmas
Day.
Day might not have. Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry, yeah.
I'm saying
That's
this
true.
year, yeah. So usually, I remember watching. I remember when I played Logan in the final of this league. And I think Christmas Eve day, during the day games during that, might have been
Yeah, you're right.
Saturday. I sat
You're
we
right.
sat and watched them, and talk about anxiety and stress. You're sitting with the guy you're playing against in fantasy, watching those games. It was, dude, that was nuts. That was
Yeah.
probably the best way to go through a fantasy championship with the guy sitting next to you, and you're not. We didn't watch the Sunday games, I think, that year, but yeah, watching 3 games together or 2 games together at a bar,
Dude, it's serious anxiety. I don't know how
I'll,
you did that.
well, luckily
It's
my team played well, so I didn't have a lot of anxiety
yeah.
after the games, but yeah, during it, man, whew, I mean, even for you guys, you're not watching it together, but there's definitely going to be a ton of text banter and back and forth when certain guys are scoring or certain games are going certain ways. That's fun, man. That's the best part of
Yeah, it's
fantasy. It's
so
just
fun.
talking
And
some
that's
shit.
this is what it's all about, man. I mean, even then you add your teams into it, must win for the Eagles. I gotta be
Hmm.
watching this little weird, no tush push, reverse to
Yeah,
AJ Brown. It's
yeah. I
just
was gonna say,
crazy.
and you guys have players in
Christmas
it.
Yeah.
dinner. I mean, 17 geese in with a depressed, wet bandit. It's gonna be insane. It's
Yeah.
gonna be insane, man.
Oh, poor bandits
It's
has to
really,
just.
it's really going to be an out of body experience on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Are
I mean,
you?
the only way to do it
A
is
lot
just
of
to drink
reasons.
through it. I don't know any other way.
Yeah, that's true.
So I take it at least to pivot on just the Christmas theme, I guess. Arby's. So Christmas night at the Greens because of the
Christmas
Monday
at the
night game.
Greens.
Wow,
Christmas
that's
at the
awesome.
Greens.
Andy, are you
Yeah.
hosting Christmas or what are you guys up to?
Christmas Eve, we're having family over, and then I'm going over to my parents on Christmas Day.
Okay, okay. Damn, you're gonna be
Yeah,
locked into that Eagles game too. Oh man, is
and
Rob gonna be down?
yeah, Rob will be down.
Sick.
Honestly, I mean the Ravens.
Is Robin
Oh, I'm
living in
sorry. I'm sorry. You're right.
Wyoming?
I mean that watching Debo it's gonna come down to Debo, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, I forgot. So you guys are the day game, I think, right? You're the 1:30 game
I
or
think
the
we're the
4:30 game?
4:30. Yeah,
Yeah, 4:30. I meant. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what's going to be cool is if that Finkel and Tiburon game comes down to the Q's Monday night.
wow.
That's going to be really cool. Honestly, that's awesome.
Yeah.
This is what you live for, man. Literally live all year for this. This is
I
cool.
will. I will say, if I had to choose, if I had a player going against a player in the Monday night game, or having just one player left, and Andy has to watch the Monday night game, I'd rather be in the other matchup because at least you have another guy going in that. I hate when I have just one guy, the last the Sunday night game or the Monday night game for the opponent, and you have to pray that this guy doesn't just murder your week or you murder your
Yeah.
playoff
Yeah,
hopes during the playoffs.
especially a guy like Debo. Even if
Sure.
I'm up 28 or something, I'm still gonna be shitting my pants.
Gee, will you be with Ant?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'll stay all night for that Monday night game at the Amadeus, but I definitely will be probably watching some of it with him, either a quarter or two. So yeah, that's gonna be well, we'll get at least of temperature check, so to speak, going into that Monday night game, depending on what the matchup looks like. So could be a lot of anxiety for Anth, or he could be up a couple points, hopefully for his sake, or vice versa. So it's gonna be interesting. Those always play a factor, man. If you're chasing points or if you're going out or you're trying to hold them off. I don't know what's better. What do you guys prefer? Would you rather be up going into? I'm sure probably. I guess is probably easier, but I don't know, man. Chasing points sometimes
No,
is less
I'd
anxiety.
rather be down and have my guy going.
Yeah,
Just 'cause I hate
I was
just
just gonna say
watching
that.
watching a whole game just rooting against points
Tough.
is soul crushing. It really is.
Yeah.
Worse
It's like
than
betting the
fun.
under. Nah. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. That's a very good point. Yeah, it's not. It definitely takes the joy out of the game a little bit, and I feel like that. You're right. I think that amps up your, at least for me, my anxiety is like certainly just waiting for a guy to score a touchdown or break a run or anything like that, and yeah, that sucks. All right, boys.
It's
Wow.
just fun though. We're all gonna be off this weekend. Everyone's gonna be nice and boozed up.
For sure.
Let's fucking go, other league.
Let's go.
Go!
Semifinals. Let's go. On
Yeah.
Christmas. Come
Let's
on.
go.
A
I'm
Christmas
jacked.
week, a Christmas weekend semifinal between Dre's Plantation and I'm thinking Arby's. What a matchup this will be. This will be talked about for years in the other league history. He's
Oh
click.
shit! I'm burning that. Bison burger.
Wow, he's
I got
calling
it.
it out.
That's off.
I meant to go to the grocery store and buy like a half a deli meat of roast beef, and I was gonna put it on here and eat it. I just ran
That
out
would
of
have been.
time.
I would have
I didn't-
appreciated that. We're a little bit down in December sales wise. That would be good. I appreciate that.
Not a lot of people Christmas shopping and stopping at Arby's on the way home. That's for sure.
Yeah, not a big roast beef type of year, but
Might be hitting up some curly fries.
why
but
don't you
roast
get? You know
beef is
what? Check
stagnant.
your mailbox, Dre. I got something coming to you.
All right.
Wow.
Big beef. Rick, check yours too. You got a nice pile of shit coming your way, buddy.
Merry Christmas, Rick.
Merry
Oh
Christmas,
man,
Rick.
that's great. Boys, I mean, I'm excited for you guys. This is crazy. I mean, one of you guys is going to the finals. One of you guys is probably going to be on the pod next week and telling me how you feel about that matchup. So yeah, this is crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's
If I
2 wins away.
if I lose, don't ask me to come
Nah,
on.
I won it.
Well,
I won
hey,
that.
before we get off, I'm gonna give it up to G and Snyder, but G for holding this podcast down. It's been phenomenal.
Thanks,
This
boys.
has been groundbreaking. Done a great job. I've
Appreciate
loved it.
that.
It's taking the league to the next level. Great job, man. I appreciate the pod. It's been awesome, man. Really, really cool. So
Yeah, I
hope to
appreciate
see you
that.
next week, buddy.
Yeah, well, somebody's joining me, and then we'll get some fun, some dialogue a little bit postseason. But yeah, I mean, next week's episode is gonna be great. A little preview of the final. So I appreciate you boys jumping on. It's always fun to shoot the shit. Love that you guys are playing each other. To get you both on here. So it's been cool. I
Yeah,
appreciate the time.
You're the rock. Thanks for leading us through
Yeah.
it, man.
Well, we're trying, man. It's a fun thing. I appreciate you guys having on, and I enjoy it. I think it's really fun.
That's great. It's
I
the
love
best.
coming here and hearing some banter. I will say, I would have loved some heat coming from if Rick won and was going to play it, because I really was looking forward to the shit talk that would have been transpiring on this pod. But I will say that you brought some very, I would say, above, right on par with Rick in terms of just entertainment on this pod. So we appreciate coming on, Ben. That's definitely the kickoff was resembling of his pain train breakdown.
I'm
from
disappointed
last
that
week.
Rick wasn't on. I was expecting him to be on. My manager told me it was me against Rick, so I was shocked to see Dre on here. Had no idea, but feel
Now you
bad
know.
for you, buddy. We're a train. See you
Yeah,
next
and
week. See you Thursday, buddy.
Rick is just a distant memory. His team has already been forgotten.
Another year
I
of
got a
misery.
shit sandwich to eat, guys. I don't know what to do with it, so I'm gonna eat it.
All right. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on. I will say to everyone, hopefully that listens, and hopefully it goes out to every member. Merry Christmas. Have a hell of a weekend. Chilling
Yeah,
with
Merry
fans,
Christmas,
enjoying the
boys.
holiday.
Merry Christmas,
And
man.
it could be a little bit brighter of a Christmas for one of you two to get to the final. So good luck to both of you. Good luck to Tiburon and Anth. Man, other league
Hey, let's all
2023
end it with the
playoffs.
same theme. It sucks to be Phil. Phil, you suck.
Yeah, poor Phil, man. He's got a long off season. A lot of prep
Phil, you're
work.
the
man.
worst player I know.
Yeah, Arby's. We didn't really we only touched on the playoff teams, but you got any you want to rip on any of the other shitty teams?
Oh
for
yeah,
the
we have you
season
here.
while we're
Have
here?
a little send off. Have a little fun.
Yeah, let loose here. No filters.
I mean, Jesus. I mean, the Snyder toilet bowl. Just what is going on in Reading? What's in the water over there? Are they in Reading? Or are they? I don't even know where they are. Are they in Lancaster? Who cares? I mean, that's a stinky area of PA apparently.
Not competitive.
I'm looking forward to the punishment. Phil
Yes.
better deliver. He deserves this terrible crown. I'm really looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, this is going to be, I think, arguably the worst punishment we've had to date. Just meaning, I mean, putting a presentation together just sucks in general. I mean, when's the last time we put a presentation together? Maybe outside of occasional, if you have to
I
for
love
work.
it.
I mean, you had to do
Who came up with that?
Snyder or Eric. So Eric is donning
Yeah,
the
that's
punishment
great.
for his older brother, which is hilarious. But yeah, I think it just sucks. I mean, you got to wear a dress, which is already embarrassing enough. I mean, thank God there's only 12 of us, and I mean, obviously a ton of cell phones that are recording it as well. But then you got to put together presentation, and Phil had like 30 plus moves of your moves and why you did it and why you suck. I mean, that's tough. That is a tough presentation. Yeah, to your point, I hope Phil delivers, but yeah, oof. I mean, he does get to create a punishment for next year, so he's got a hell of a to-do list, we'll say, in the offseason. So Phil, get to thinking, get to work, get to work.
Yeah. Looking forward to making this one of the worst days of your life, Phil. Look forward to seeing you, buddy. I'll be ready. I'll be ready.
I think make sure my battery's charged to record that. That'll be something to put down in the Google Drive. Remember, that's where you can find everything in the Google Drive. All right, boys. Anything else before we round out? Yeah, that apparently half the stuff we asked is not in there. But yeah, we'll have to see what our esteemed commish comes up with to the to this punishment possibly, or the reverse order of our rankings in terms of season rankings. I don't know. There's a lot to decide in the off season, but one thing we can look forward to is Phil Snyder in a dress, pointing with a clicker on all of his absolute shit waiver moves. So, well, boys.
Yeah, there's one thing we know. No one remembers anything from any of these drafts, and it's insane how little we remember. I mean, it is really insane how many years we can go without knowing the rules. It's really crazy, but that's kind of our league.
That's actually
we're like a decade in, and not one of us knows the rules. Those are rules. So.
I feel
love this league. Love this league.
I feel like we've been texting all week about like the losers bracket and the ping pong balls. I still don't know what's happening.
I've commented on multiple pods that I still not sure how we did it last year. I mean, maybe it was fine. I have no idea. I just don't recall.
Well, that just goes to show how great the league is. It's like you either win or nothing. Like nobody, once you're out, like it's just so devastating. You don't even care in a good way. It's like
when you're
winning's
out,
all that matters.
You just wait for
Loeb
to make up his mind on whatever he wants to do, and then
pretty much, yeah.
It's at the mercy of Loeb.
Then we'll all just fight it, and nothing will get resolved.
I will throw a little jab at him. No comment to my request in the group chat to make me co-commissioner. So still without the title, even though I had it last year. So come on, Loeb.
Your passion is phenomenal this year, man. You've done a great job, man.
Hey, well, I will say,
I wish Snyder could have joined us today too. But thanks for having me on. Yeah,
no, it's been great. I appreciate you guys jumping on. We'll leave it at this. Merry Christmas, as I said earlier, and we'll be back next week for another recap and then a preview of the final. Jeez, that's crazy. All right, boys.
All right, fuck you, Arby's. Piece of shit.
Woo!
Let's get it, Drake.
Let's go, baby.
Trying to hit end on my phone by whipping it. Get him. Loeb.
See you, boys.
Yeah.